What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday afternoon, or if you're watching Saturday afternoon, if you're watching this live, perhaps evening some places, perhaps morning some places. What's up, everybody? It's Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again. I got a live stream, yes, and unpopular opinions I want to talk about. Big shout outs, first of all, to the customers of the AfricanSuperstar.com. Much love to everybody who's been shopping with us for over 3 good years, all satisfied customers. So if you have not checked the AfricanSuperstar.com out, please make sure you do. Get some logo merchandise from yours and truly. Big shout outs also to our members only who support the platform on a monthly basis. Special shout outs to Ajike. She purchased the EP the other day. So for those of you guys that have not yet got your copy of the EP, the pre-order basically, it's in the box below along with the details of how to vote. We're currently up for an award in South Africa. Please do submit your votes. You can vote both here on the continent and internationally. And those votes are important because we want to win. I've been checking the votes and the competition is very steep. We're currently in the number 2 position, but there's 10 of us totally in the category. So it's a lot of competition. So please make sure you submit your votes and or your support through the GoFundMe. Funds from the GoFundMe will also be going to purchase votes as well, just to secure that we make sure that we get this win. So please make sure you guys do that. Big shout outs to the family. Who's in the building today? Do we have anybody? Big shout outs to the family before I get started. We got one of you there so far. Okay. I hope you're doing fine. Big shout outs to the family. Today I want to talk about unpopular opinions. Why society ultimately dislikes confident people. So yesterday I spent a little bit of time with Sister Ya, my homegirl Sister Ya. We went out to Shy Hills and we took a family out to Shy Hills and showed them land. As it stands, Sister Ya has sold over 40 plots of land at that site. So people are buying and people are interested. If you are interested, I have posted several videos here on the channel about Shy Hills, the land deals going on there with Sister Ya and I. So please, if you're interested, and only send serious inquiries, please, because I do realize some people are reaching out to her just kind of trying to get information and are not being serious about it. So obviously, Sister Ya's a very busy person. We don't want to waste her time. If you know that you're not serious about it, please don't waste time. Serious inquiries only. Send an email to africansuperstar@gmail.com. So one of the things I love is long rides, long drives. When I used to live in the US, I would often go out for evening drives and just listen to the music, especially in the spring and summertime. I don't know if it's really that safe to do those things now because it's a war zone over there. But back in the days, that's what I used to do. And I used to just roam and drive and, check out different neighborhoods if there were new developments and listen to music. And I love that. So, going out to Shy Hills is a long ride up and a long ride back. And we kind of got on this topic about how many Black people suffer from low self-esteem. Our Black men are affected. Our Black women are affected. Continentals are affected. Our people in the diaspora are affected. And I want to talk about why that is heavily promoted and why society ultimately rejects and dislikes confident people. Confident people will get discredited. Confident people will get suppressed. Confident people will be encouraged to conform and all of these things. And there's one specific reason why confident people are handled like that. Is anybody in the room? Hello. Can you guys hear me? I just need to check before I get into my topic. Hello. Can the family hear me? I know it's only a few, y'all, but I just want to make sure I can be heard before I really get into the topic. Big shout outs to the family. Guys, if you're here and you can't participate, don't be here, please. I need participants in the chat room. That's why we're live. Otherwise, I'll just post videos. Big shout outs. What's up, guys? I guess it's a good time for a message from our sponsor. Please do check out the AfricanSuperstar.com. If you have not been over there, Big shout outs, guys. That's a message from the sponsors. That's the AfricanSuperstar.com. If you guys haven't been over to my website, those are some of the products that come from my African Superstar X Ghana collection. They're dope. I wear them a lot of times when I'm performing and when I go to official African Superstar business. So you can look like me, dress like me. Yes. There's one reason in particular that society does not promote confident people. Confident people are less vulnerable. You see, most of these, these world societies and economies depend on consumers. Okay. And I assume you guys can hear me because I don't see any comments at all in the chat room. So I assume you guys can hear me because nobody's responding. Yes, no, whatever. You see, they depend on the fact that we are going to constantly be sowing our money into the economy. All right. And that means that you need to be vulnerable to a certain point, that they can penetrate your psyche and encourage you to buy all of these things. When you are confident, that means that sometimes, the opinions of others, you don't need it. You don't need certain material things. You don't need to go places. You effectively feel complete. Okay. And therefore, you may participate in things from time to time, but it's not necessary. The more insecure you are, the more low self-esteem you are, the more you lack confidence, the more that you will be convinced that you need these things. Okay. You need these status symbols. You need the higher education. You need to go to the popular travel destination. You need to wear this makeup or this perfume or drive this car. You see, and so that is why our society thrives on creating people, with low self-esteem. Confident people are a turnoff a lot of times because they're not bothered, and they've already learned the science of, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm kind of the master of my own destiny. I don't need this. I don't need that, whatever. They're just not really moved by what the trends dictate, what the masses dictate. We got into this conversation, Sister Yara and I, and I've talked about it previously with some of my other friends, which is why does our society groom children? Why does education groom children? We know specifically why we are groomed that way. We are groomed to have low self-esteem and be the consummate consumer because we need to fuel the economy and we need to be the workforce. The minute we realize, oh, I don't need to spend $200 on Jordan shoes every week, is it gonna give me some kind of superhuman walk? Is it gonna appreciate and value? Does it change who I am as a human? The minute that we realize, okay, I don't actually need to get the iPhone every year. I don't really need this big house, the American dream. I don't need to put myself into debt. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. They start being severely impacted by that. When we start realizing like our money can actually do so much more. I saw this viral clip on TikTok the other day. And it's a gentleman, I don't know his name, but I believe his name is like Coach something. He's here in Ghana. And he was talking about how, he talks to some people back in the diaspora and they tell him how they want to come to Africa. We know a lot of you guys do that. What's up, Michael? He's the only one here finally, because I was like, I see numbers as far as who's in the room, but nobody's saying anything. So big shout outs to Michael. I love you for that. Thank you so much. So this man was talking about how he talks to people back in the diaspora and they tell him how they want to come and visit Africa, but they don't have any money. And he tells them, yeah, but you got all these expensive sneakers. You got the LeBrons, you got the Iversons, you got the Jordans, you got, he named a lot of these, I don't know, all these people, the Kobe's, you got some Yeezys, you got all these designer shoes that if you, and I mean, for some of you guys that like trainers, if you look at your trainers, you line them up and you look at the value, you easily might have a few $1,000 bucks right then. I know some guys that have like hundreds of trainers. They have retro Jordans. They've got, you know, certain custom, you know, I know the Air Force Ones, they were really big with the custom. You know, people were taking them and airbrushing them, putting bling bling on them, doing all kind of limited editions and all this kind of thing. And those shoes could go for hundreds of bucks, you know, a pair. The Air Maxes, you know, very famous trainers, Nikes, 200, 300, some pairs, you know, pounds, dollars. It's crazy. And he was talking about how our people will wait, line up around the building to get the new release of these tennis shoes. We don't realize the power of money. And I don't always blame our people because financial literacy is not something that we're taught, because like I said, we are taught to be consumers, and it's all in conjunction with your self-esteem. You see, because these products are often marketed to you to fix something. Okay, I was sent, I believe, a story by Shoshana, one of our family members that's in Uganda. Big shout outs to her. She sent me a story about, it's very interesting that in the Western world, things that are supposed to be components of community have been monetized. So versus, you know, in many communities, exercise is like a family activity. It's just a normal thing that people do. They go for evening walks. They go with walks with friends. They, you know, some metro areas have factored in like exercise machines at local parks and, you know, things like this to incorporate just activity, you know. But meanwhile, in the West, it's a huge industry. Oh, you need these supplements. Oh, you need these waist trainers. Oh, you need, you know, going to a gym, personal training, money. Okay. Also, in America, everybody now is going for therapy. Okay. Back in the days, therapy was calling your homegirl, telling her what's happened, you know, talking to your sister, your brother, talking to your mom and dad, or, you know, whoever you trust, going to your pastor, whatever, going to the daggone, what's that thing called at the Catholic Church? Confession or whatever, where the, you know, you can go in there and talk to somebody about what's going on. Effectively, therapy is part of relationships and communication, right? Because as you go through the ups and downs, or you seek advice, or you just need, you know, company, you can get that through your normal relationships. I don't have a therapist, for instance, but I have close girlfriends that I can confide in and have conversations with and spend time with. For me, that could be a form of therapy. You know, exercise is also a form of therapy. Great stress reliever, you know, great way to improve your self-esteem, improve your self-image. When you look at, for instance, the West, they're capitalizing on all these very, very basic human needs that we're supposed to have. They've extracted them from society. Like with all this technology, people in the West are very lonely. They don't have social skills anymore. Their relationships are suffering, you know, both romantic, professional. Their problem solving skills are, you know, failing. And all of these things, there's some type of monetary avenue to help you with those issues. This is why confident people are not held in society, because they're going to say, wait a minute, the jig is up. This isn't making any sense. You know, and I found that in my conversations with big shout outs to the family. I'm going to come do shout outs in a minute. So if you're here, leave your comments in the room, please. Big shout outs. Hi, family. It's the one and only African superstar. I'm in the building. Make sure you like the stream. Yes. Make sure you like the stream. I've met so many migrants, obviously, in the international community now. I've been living abroad since 2017. And one thing that I would say is a common denominator of many of these people is they are very confident people. They are not indifferent people. They are not fearful people. They are not conventional people. They are not impacted by what people think about them, because they have come to the conclusion via their own research, via their own study. They've totally gone against the grain. This is what, you know, Sister Yah was saying yesterday. She said, Gina, you know, we are really courageous when you think about it. We are picking up, leaving everything we know, leaving the expectations of others, because that's a big deal. Sometimes I talk to people in consultations and things like that, and I'm offering mentoring to a few people currently, and that's a big thing. What are my peers going to think? What are my parents going to think? What's my spouse going to think? You know, what's my sorority going to think? I'm this corporate person. I'm this, I'm this American. I'm this British. I'm this professional. What does that look like now? I've gone to Africa and I'm, a farmer, or, in my case, I became an Uber driver before I left the country. And that was just so avant-garde to my friends that were professionals. They were just like, Gina, how can you be a taxi cab driver? You got higher education and you went to college for all these years, and, you've worked for banks, and, you're a big girl. And it's like, a confident person knows that all those accolades and all those adjectives don't define you as a person. They also know that just as fast as you go up, hello, you can go. First trivia question. What's the end to that statement? Just as fast as you can go up. Huh? You can go the opposite direction. What's the answer? Big shout outs, family. Hello. First trivia question. I see everybody in the building. Michael was the first. What's up, Fitzroy? Big shout outs to the family. Oh, Gawan Jacob. Big shout outs from Spain. I think you're my first official viewer from Spain that I'm aware of. So big shout outs to Jacob in the building. Hello, family. Yes. What's up? What's up? What's up? Fitzroy is shouting out the mission statement of the platform. If you guys don't know what that is, it's strategy, maturity, and patience. Hello. That's how you navigate. Today, I'm talking about an unpopular opinion. Society is now breeding these insecure people with no identity. They're confusing their identities. They are jumbling up these people because it makes it more profitable for them. When a person can assess something and say, this is a crock of BS, this is absolute nonsense, this is overpriced, I don't need this, that's not beneficial to society. When a person can say, you know what, I'm going to save up my money and go live an alternative lifestyle. And I ain't talking rainbows. I'm talking about I'm going to go live internationally. I'm going to go, do charity work. I'm going to build my dream home. I'm going to go live on the sea and go live in a different culture. That is avant-garde. That's not what they want you to do. Because shout outs to the family. Any of you guys that started traveling internationally, you went to South America, you went to Asia, you went to Africa. Hopefully, after that exercise, you begin to realize the value of money. You begin to see that, wow, these US dollars, these pounds, these euros, they go a lot further in the Philippines. They go a lot further in Kenya. They go a lot further in Brazil. I can actually have a whole house for the cost of, what I pay in a couple months in America. Renting or something like that. I can buy plots of land for a few $1,000s that wouldn't get me anything where I'm living in the UK or whatever. You start to understand the value of money. And there have been studies that show people in the Western world, Western world and developed Asia are the biggest consumers in the world. Now, Asians, they have a lot more wealth than Americans do. So they like high-end stuff. They like designer stuff. They like a lot of electronics and all that kind of stuff. They can afford it. Americans are more consumers of clothing, shoes, that kind of stuff. Things that really, really depreciate. Big shout out to the family. Michael O says, 70 to 80% of sneakers are made of plastic. I can't place so much value on just plastic. It's meant to move you from point A to point B, same as cars. And the thing is, I would say, if you are in a position where you have expendable money, okay? You have expendable money, which means your income or your profits or, your dividends or whatever income you have coming in. It's so substantial that you have expendable money, and it's not going to dent into your wealth or your savings or whatever. That's fine. Okay. you treat yourself to something you like, something you want. You know, like I like expensive perfume. Probably every year I get one or two expensive perfumes. I wear perfume every day. Okay. So I utilize my perfumes. But I'm not at the perfume counter every month getting, you know, new perfumes. I used to, before I learned the value of money, I used to spend a lot of money on shoes, high heels for days. I didn't basically wear the same pair of shoes. I had well over at least 300 pairs of shoes probably before I left the US. Like I liquidated a lot of stuff. I still carried a lot of my shoes with me and things like that. I love shoes. I used to have a Shoe Dazzle account, you know, the shoe membership account. See, I used to be the consumer. And when I look back, I look at, oh my God, the money I used to spend on this, that, what I could have done with it and all that. But I realized that, yeah, I was groomed to be that way. And also the perception is, you know, the more money you spend, you're more wealthy, which is not the case in our community. We're spending money that we don't really have. We are broke and we're spending this money. You know, everything we get in, we're putting in on our back, our feet, our cars. You know, got to have the latest cell phone, no savings, no investments, no life insurance, no property, no land. You see what I'm saying? If you have those things in place, you got yourself worked out. And then you say, you know what? Hey, it's Christmas. It's my birthday. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to get myself something nice. You know, there are many expensive things I like. Vintage, you know what I'm saying? Vintage Versace. You guys see me. If you see my pictures, you see I wear, you know, not as much as I used to. Hello, I used to wear Versace all the time. You know what I mean? Vintage earrings, you know, from like the 80s. I love that. Designer shades. You know, I have a lot of things. I bought so much stuff back in those days that I still have it now. Like I haven't bought any new, I haven't bought any new vintage Versace since I probably bought a couple pieces when I was in the UK, but since I moved to Ghana, I haven't bought any. So that's 3 good years now. But you know, I used to cash out. You know, and it's really ridiculous that we have the perception that spending money means that you have money. No, you generated money and you put your money in somebody else's pocket. And now you have no money. Now you got to go back to work and do it all over again. Big shout outs to Michael. Scorpio is in the building. He says, don't mess with anyone who migrates to a foreign land to grind, especially if they're alone in that new land. Big shout outs. We're talking about confident people and how the West is basically breeding insecure people with a lack of confidence, and that is why they discourage you to be confident. This is the age-old answer as to why the world doesn't want Black people to know who they are. Okay, we are one of the largest groups of consumers in the world. We spend billions. Okay, and it doesn't matter where we are, whether we're here in Africa, whether we're in America or Europe, wherever we are spending big money. Okay, people here in Ghana, they have cars, they have iPhones. I mean, iPhone is very, very popular here. For a long time, there wasn't even an Apple store here, and everybody was having iPhones. There's Range Rovers. Range Rover is like a common car over here in Accra. You know, especially in my neighborhood, every other car, Range Rover. We spend money. That's here on the continent. People here build mansion homes. You know what I'm saying? Own land, dress to the nines. Kente cloth ain't cheap, fam. Elaborate events, you know, from baby showers to weddings to, you know, to funerals. I mean, we spend big money here on the continent. Same thing in America. Okay? We spend money. Black women spend so much money on hair. I remember one day, me and Anita, we went to my salon. We went to get our nails done together, and there was a wig there. If you guys don't notice, I don't wear wigs. Not knocking the ladies that do, but it's just not my thing. I'm either going to wear my hair natural or some kind of style, braid, something like that. I'm into it being connected to my hair, you know. Anyway, so just to humor myself, I wanted to ask how much one of these wigs cost. There was just like kind of like a straight wig there. That wig was like 5,000 CDs. I was like, oh my gosh. And the girls over here, the Ghana girls, they rock wigs. Okay. They got all kind of different colors, shapes, and they get this foreign hair, blah, 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 despite how you feel about it. I'm talking about, this is why our people, they don't want our people to be self-aware. They don't want our people to be confident. Just imagine if African nations decided that they wanted to put their country as the number one country in their world, in their spectrum. Sister Yana and I were talking about how if you were to ask, if you were to group up a bunch of Ghanaians and ask them who was their favorite football team, they would tell you Liverpool, they would tell you Manchester United, they would tell you Chelsea, a lot of these, UK teams more specifically, or, Madrid, whatever. I mean, you probably be hard pressed for them to say Black Stars, which is the name of the team here in Ghana. And see, I'm not a sports person, but see, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Shout outs to all my Ohioans in the room. Hello, OHIO. From the double O, I represent the CO. Yes. I learned living in Columbus, you always support the home team. Hello. The home team in Columbus is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay. Now, I'm not a sports person. I've never been to an OSU game or anything like that, but I supported the home team. Rock my colors, my scarlet and gray on game days and all that stuff. Had a couple t-shirts, whatever. You support the home team. But here in Africa, that's not how it is. Here on the continent, our people lack pride. Even though there's problems, guys, listen, shout out to any continentals in the room. Even though there's problems in your nation, doesn't supersede that there are beautiful and unique things in your nation. I see how when I wear my kente cloth, okay, and not just kente color, t-shirt, or I wear the damn cloth. I wear the cloth like the kings wear, like the nobility wears, the chiefs wear. When I wear my kente, I mean, the way people admonish it, and they're like, wow, that is so beautiful. You look so pretty. That's beautiful. And I'm like, this is our culture. Like, me wearing kente, it should not be abnormal. It shouldn't be shocking, because it should be such a normal part of our lives. And it's very interesting that I've spoken to many Ghanaians and I've asked them. I mean, obviously you have different tribes and stuff like that. So people from the north, they have different traditional wear than, a lot of the Ashantis. The kente is made in Kumase land down in Bonri. But, it's very interesting to me that I wear kente in a way that many other people don't wear it. And they wear it for weddings, basically. That sum it up, weddings and funerals. And I'm like, no, it could be considered a special occasion wear, technically. And so I'm doing what I can to change and modernize that perception. You see me wear kente to a New Year's Eve party. You see me wear it for photo shoots. You see me wear it in music videos. I regard it as formal wear, special occasion wear. And but I'm someone who's confident, and I realize that people that are not confident, they really, really seek the validation of others. They need others to, validate if it's going to be acceptable or not. And shout outs to the diasporans that are coming out of the West and going into the world. Like I said, the ones that I have met, people here I've met here in Ghana, they are confident people. They have come to the satisfaction of their decisions, and they're going forward. And unfortunately, like I said, some of the people I mentored, they're really hung up on the idea of who they are supposed to be. This American dream, they can't relent from it. Some people can't relent from like religion. They know they have questions. They know they have doubts. They know it's not equating, but because that identity is so important to them, and or they're concerned about how the other people are going to view them, they can't separate from these things that are not giving them success. I remember that some women have, come to me over the years and said stuff like, wow, You know, I really love your afro. Your hair is really pretty. I love this color. Oh, I would just love to wear my natural hair. And I feel so bad for them because I'm like, they should get this afro if that's what you want to do. Okay? It's your hair. You know, the other night, Monica and I went out, and I've mentioned to you guys when I wear my afro, it's just so revolutionary, and it's sad to me that it's still so revolutionary. And when we went out, you know, the way people were just looking at me like they were just stunned, like, you know, and some of the people we have our regular spots. So they're like, wow, you know, I love your afro, your hair so long. And oh, wow, you know, one of the guys touched it. He's like, can I touch it? So soft. Wow. And I mean, the attention that the afro hair gets, man. And I remember my auntie told me back in the days, you know, like, you know, back in the 60s and stuff, wearing an afro was a revolutionary statement. You know, it showed the pride, it showed the confidence, it showed the confidence in how you are as you are. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with our natural hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, our natural hair is lit. Yes, it looks different than the other people's. So what? That's what's so dynamic about it. You know, all these other Europeans and Asians and, you know, stuff like that, they have the long, stringy hair, whatever. That's their look. Our hair grows up, it goes out, it's fluffy, it's dynamic, it's versatile, it's incredible. You know, the things we can do with our hair is like fascinating to the world. Yet so many of our people are ashamed of that. So many of our people are embarrassed about it. You know, and I wear a myriad of styles, but I'm not intimidated also to wear my natural hair. And I think you kind of got to get to that point. But I know that society doesn't want people to be confident because of this reason. They need you to be vulnerable. Okay. Confidence is the inverse of vulnerability. Okay. Because people that are confident are sure. They don't have those doubts. They don't waver a lot. You know, and even when they get into a hole, a lot of times they can lift themselves up out of that hole. You know, they don't accept that they're inferior. They don't accept that, you know, this is how things gotta be. They don't accept sometimes what these titles people give them, you know, mental illness and stuff. They're like, no, I'm gonna find ways to solve my problems and they just reject what society is telling them about who they are and how they're supposed to function. Big shout outs to the family. Scorpio says, I know Uber drivers in DC that make over $120,000. Absolutely. There are people doing all kind of unconventional means and making so much money. Like my friends in the bank, they teased me that I was an Uber driver, and I'll tell y'all the day that stopped. Hello. The day that it stopped was when I decided to take a month off and go to Africa. Okay. This was my first trip to, 2016. I went to South Africa for 3 weeks and I came to Ghana. And then I think that year I also went to Mexico. Yeah, I went to Mexico that year for a few weeks. And I was like, yeah, you people in the office, I don't already have more vacation time than you gonna have in 2-3 years. You calling me a taxi driver, but I got freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. And one of the things that I hated about the office was the dress code. Because if y'all know me, I like short, tight clothes, dresses, high heels. I like doing all that. I don't like them telling what I can wear and all of that. So I would wear whatever I want to wear in my car as I did Uber. Hello. And some of my riders would be like, where are you about to go? Wow, you're dressed up. I'm like, yeah, in my car, because this is what I feel like wearing. Shout outs to Michael. Michael has the answer to the trivia question, which is what goes up must come down. That was the statement, and he filled it in. Big shout outs to Michael in the building. What's up, Joyce? I see you there. May I say pa. Big shout outs to the family. Scorpio says, I used to buy $120 shirts from Banana Republic and G-Star Raw as I matured the $10 Target shirt. So, I mean, a lot of us, that brand identity was very important. I know some people that was, and obviously the music influenced that too, because I remember who is it? Trick Daddy. He's like, oh, I only wear polo, like Trick Daddy Polo, Ralph Lauren. You know what I mean? I knew students in high school that only wore Ralph Lauren. They wore Ralph Lauren everything, socks, boxers, undershirts, you know, the polo. Brand like identity was so important. But at the end of the day, it's not really. And that's what Scorpio's saying. You know what I mean? I can get this $10 Target polo shirt, t-shirt, whatever. You know, a lot of times people ain't even noticing. I mean, ladies, you know, a lot of times a woman will notice what we're wearing more than a man would. You know, you go get that designer dress, you go get the high heels, you're wearing a fancy handbag, you done spent, you know, a bunch of money on your nails or your makeup, you got the eyelash extensions. These dudes don't be knowing all that. You coming out wearing a stack and they don't even know. They're just like, oh, baby, that's a nice dress. Maybe. That's a stretch. Maybe. Oh, you smell good. You know what I mean? So, and actually, again, if you have the confidence, it don't matter what you wear. You could be in a damn trash bag and make it lit because your confidence is very contagious. You know what I mean? People see it emanating off of you and they realize it's not, as I say, the clothing doesn't make the man. You know, the man makes the man. I know somebody actually that's like that. You know, his swag is just off the hook. And, you know, he could wear anything because he's a very confident man. Big shout out to the family. Scorpio said, this black lady told me a few days ago that her prom dress cost $12,000 for the occasion. See, and we dropped so much money for something like that. Don't get me wrong. Prom is a special moment. And, you know, you want to look lit and turn up and all that. But that's a lot of money for one night. And now it's over. And that kind of gown, I mean, the probability of you wearing it again. You know, has anybody in here worn their prom dress more than once? Or, I mean, for the fellas, if you got a nice suit, obviously you can recycle that unless you got like a custom suit with some rhinestones and, you know, got your year on the back and, you know, things like that. But if you got like a nice, you know, black suit, brown suit, blue suit, you can recycle that. But for the ladies, I never wore my prom dress again. I wore it that night and I just imagine that you spend $12,000 on that dress for a few hours, you know? And I mean, even I think spending a lot of money on like a wedding gown is crazy. It's another thing. You wear that dress and, you know, it's a special occasion and you want it to be memorable, but you know, you got to look at the sliding scale and say, okay, you know what? Look, I want to get like, if it's a prom dress, I want to get a nice dress. It shouldn't cost me more than, you know, I don't want to spend more than $500 on my prom dress or more than $1,000. You know what I mean? That's going to be my maximum. That's crazy. 12,000. That's like really expensive. What's up, Blockavelli? Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? Scorpio says one of the biggest sporting teams in Africa is Kumasi Asante Kotoko, based in Ghana. The Ghanaian people are proud of that team. Big shout outs. Well, again, I don't listen. These studies, I don't make them up. I'm not one of those YouTubers I told y'all. But if I went out there right now and I rounded up 10 Ghanaian guys and I asked them, what is your favorite team? Okay. And some guys will be like, oh, in Africa or no. What's your favorite team? Okay. It shouldn't be, there's no separate pot for African teams and then Euro teams. All right. Or whatever. Your favorite team, you're from Ghana? Your favorite team should be Ghana. Why are you rooting for foreign teams like that? Why is that your favorite team? When you got the home team here. And I'm sorry, I mean, I'm biased because I love Ghana. But I think Black Stars is the hottest name. Like, I think the Black Stars is hot. I like their logo, you know what I'm saying? The Ghana, the yellow jersey. I think all of that is so hot. So I'm like, why is Ghana not your favorite team? Like, Ghana's only your favorite team when they're playing somebody else. But ultimately, if somebody asks you which club do you support, they're saying Liverpool, Manchester United, blah, blah, blah. Big shout out to the family. What's up, Uncle Take? Yes. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? Michael says any clothing more than $15 to $25, almost gets me into panic attack, and I only shop for clothes once or twice a year. I am the kind of man who doesn't really care. Big shot. Scorpio says 20 is 20. I learned this the hard way, especially after I watched these expensive. I mean, and that's the thing, guys. Like, you will think, once upon a time, I used to think that designer clothes, in some cases, like, they have extra details, or they're like really well sewn and, you know, whatever. Or obviously, if you're getting like luxury fabrics like silk, cashmere, fur, you're like, okay, you know, it's going to be more costly than a cotton shirt, some, you know, linen pants or something like that. But nowadays, this stuff is not even well made. Like Scorpio said, you give it a wash, you know, you got a Balenciaga t-shirt, you got a Versace t-shirt. Well, I'm not going to hate on Versace because I never had no problems with Versace. But, you know, you get, I don't know, Zara. Zara's not really that expensive. You get like Calvin Klein. Maybe you buy some Calvin Klein. And, you know, this stuff is falling apart. And you're like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be designer. I spent 200 pounds, 300 pounds. And like I said, the value of money can do so much. When I now look back on the money that I spent, and I'm like, oh my God. I literally was walking around with a plot of land on my person. You know, when I calculated, because when I used to dress, the jewelry, the clothes, plus, you know, the hair, the handbag, the shoes, the nails, the perfume. I mean, bruh, I would definitely be wearing hundreds of dollars of clothes. You know, I have my very favorite vintage Versace shirt. It's one that like Biggie Smalls has, like the same style. It cost me almost $600 on its own. You know, but I did wear that shirt though. See, that's one thing. I wear my stuff. I wear my stuff. Okay, I wear my stuff out. I don't just buy it and put it in the closet. I wear it out. But so you got a $600 shirt, plus the shoes, plus the perfume, plus the bag, plus the shades. Because when I lived in America, I wore sunglasses every day. That's the irony. Now I live in the sunshine and I don't wear them every day. It's just so funny to me. But yes, we've digressed a little bit, kind of getting into clothes. But the reason why society shuns confident people is they're less vulnerable, aka they're going to be less, you know, they're going to be more difficult to deal with, you know, and less likely to feel the necessity to buy all this stuff. You know, if you're someone, for instance, and you're doing weight loss, you understand that, you know, from the whole time I was growing up, I was made to understand that there's two ways to deal with your fitness, okay? Diet, and diet being so very important, and exercise, okay? Those are two ways to maintain your weight, right? But there's a whole industry of superseding that. Now we have cosmetic surgery. You know, you got the weight loss pills, you got the personal trainers, you know, you have all these like home workouts, apps, you know, you got all this stuff, keto diet books and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, ultimately we know that the way to do it is diet and exercise, but people don't want to do that. They don't want to try to find shortcuts. And it's $1 billion industry. All that stuff is $1 billion industry. Shapewear. Can you imagine? Shapewear. You know, shapewear is nice. It makes clothing look appropriate. It's $1 billion industry. Imagine. And it goes under your clothes. And a lot of that shapewear is geared to, you know, trying to suppress the fat, trying to make your body look a different kind of way. Maybe if you exercised a bit, then you wouldn't necessarily need all that shapewear or whatever. And actually, pro tip for the ladies who are into a lot of that shapewear and waist trainers, if you exercise, it looks so much better with your shapewear anyway. Because if you keep fit, your shapewear don't got to do that much. Okay, it just kind of contours what is already there, which is supposed to be an accent to your body, not a deceptive tool to trick everybody. You see? So I really want to encourage our people to try to work on their self-esteem. You know, you are complete and whole the way that you were born and designed. Okay. Anything additional that you want to do is like an adjective to the noun. Okay? It's not necessary that you got it. You don't need it. You know, you might be one of those ladies that feel like you can't go out without your hair done. Okay? You always got to have your wig on, even if you're just like taking the rubbish out, or, you know, going to pick somebody from the gate or go to get the pizza. You feel like you got to have your wig on. You got to have your makeup. You got it. Listen, no, you don't. In some cases, people are going to think that you look beautiful and attractive without it. It might be shocking to you because you know, those things are coming from a deep-seated self-esteem issue that makes you feel like you need to have it. Some men feel like, I need to have this car. You know, for men, their car is an important thing. You know, and they're like, everybody looks up to me because I drive this fast car, this expensive car. You know, what's everybody going to think if I downgrade to the Camry? You know, right now I got the you know, I got the Range Rover, I got the Audi, I got the BMW Coupe, you know, whatever. I got the Mercedes, but it's really expensive. The car insurance expensive, you know, the maintenance is expensive, whatever. The car note every month is really expensive. I could save money if I just get, you know, and the irony is that very wealthy people, if you look at them, they're the epitome of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? They don't spend big money on clothing or cars, or in some cases, if they're very wealthy, yeah, they might have one or two or something like that. But the way that middle class and low class people spend money on these material things that depreciate, wealthy people don't do that. You know, we roll up in the room looking like $1 million. Meanwhile, you know, the CEO comes in and is totally nondescript. Nobody even knows that he or she's in the room because they just look so ordinary, and they drive an ordinary car, and they got like a struggle life phone. You know, I'm not saying I'm a rich CEO or nothing, but they be having something like this. And some of you guys that be getting evicted and can't afford your car notes be having the iPhone 15 Pro Max Extra, the new brand new Samsung that's not even out. Get some confidence, and you won't even need nearly as much stuff. You know what I mean? You would just be like, you know, and that's part of the reason here on my channel, I make sure to show all the different sides of Gina. You know, yes, you see me very glamorous at times. Yes, you see me with my makeup done. Yes, you see me in music videos and fancy gowns, but you're going to see me like this. Sometimes you're going to see me in my bonnet. Hello, you're going to see me in my bonnet. You're going to see me in my house dress. You know, you're going to see the fro. You're going to see the glasses, because it's like, look, these are the different sides of Gina. You know, none of us all look totally done all the time. You don't wake up like that. You don't go to sleep like that. You know, you get up and maybe put yourself together, special occasions, you know, whatever. And the interesting thing is, like, the people nearest to me, they really like my natural look. They love my hair. They're like, no makeup. You know, I get the most comments. I mean, I'm serious. The most compliments when I'm like this. Seriously. I go out and people are like, wow, you know, your skin looks so great. And listen, I'll be thinking like, are you serious? I'm battling a skin disease. But yeah, big shout out to the family. Scorpio says, an old boss once told me I came off too cocky. I didn't really know that was some kind of code phrase that white folks use when they come across a confident black man. Absolutely. Definitely in the workplace, they don't like confidence. They will call you insubordinate. You know, let me see here. Wait a minute. I'm trying to find a link. I want to open up the call lines briefly. And if you guys want to add anything to this topic, you're more than welcome. Guys, please make sure you like the stream. Support the stream. Today, I just want to remind you to also get... oh, damn, never mind. Forgot. To get your copy of the EP. Hello? Make sure you send your votes. Your votes are very important, guys, because the competition is very steep. I did post on Friday the current running of us. We're currently number 2 in my category. And the voting commences on July 11th. So I've put the link in the community tab and also the box of this video for you to link, and or the GoFundMe, and or all three, like Ajike, and she got her copy of the EP just yesterday, I believe. The call lines are now open if you guys want to quickly call in and talk about this topic. Have you ever been, confident and people try to, take you down and kind of try to, dim your light and suppress you, and, oh, you think you're all that. You think you're so special. You think this, that. Listen, that's society. But if you look at the reality, the game changers in this world, okay, the most prolific, the most memorable people out there are the leaders, okay? And they're different than everyone else. They have different opinions. They come up with different ideas. They got different businesses, and they're unapologetic. A lot of times they're not, embarrassed of who they are. And that confidence is what makes you stand out. And that's why the world doesn't want you to have it. Okay, the world wants to doll you into becoming one of the masses because they can capitalize off of you. It's very clear to see. When you're a leader, you're a threat, you're a danger. That's why a lot of times for many leaders, they meet that, kind of fate. But again, a real leader knows that that's on the table. A real leader knows that they might suffer, they might lose, they might have to sacrifice, they might go through hardship because of the fact that they're unapologetic, because of the fact that they're cocky, arrogant, self-aware, insubordinate. All these adjectives they come up with to, make it look negative, having a confidence. And they like to hang you out to dry in front of people too, because they want to teach the others, hey, don't go against the grain. Don't be like Gina. Don't be like Scorpio, because you're going to get reprimanded. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get, written up or whatever. Too bad for them. The confident people don't care. And they're going to keep on doing what they keep on doing because they're confident in what they're doing. When I look at the journey, when I look at everything, I know I'm doing the right thing in general. I do what I believe is the way for our people in the future. And I'm doing what's best for Gina as an individual as well. So why would I do anything else? Why would I be on this track and go back? I'm going to suffer either way. See, I'm going to suffer either way. So if I'm going to suffer, I might as well suffer and get my objectives across than suffer and not. Like, that's so whack. Like, suffer in slavery and then get nothing out of the deal. No, if you're going to suffer, then go out with a bang. If you're going to do it to death. Do it 100%. Don't halfway do it. Do it to death. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. What's up, ATM Tim? Hi, family, if you're in the building. Yes, so that's why I'm just kind of shedding light. And I see that they are really trying to confuse our youth. I mean, they've been successful. I'd say these last couple of generations, they're just so confused about who they are. Okay. But the more confused the people are, the easier it is for them to be indoctrinated. Okay. If for instance, if you are a giraffe, okay, you're a giraffe, you look like a giraffe, your parents are giraffes, you live among them in the wild. Okay. You're a giraffe. Nobody can come along and tell you that you're an elephant. Okay. But if you're a giraffe and you go to school and they say, oh, you're actually a crocodile. And then the next teacher is like, well, you look like a zebra to me. And meanwhile, your parents, you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, well, I look like a giraffe though. These other animals, they don't look like us. And then society keeps reiterating, well, maybe you're actually, an elephant trapped in a giraffe's body. The kind of nonsense that we see today in our society. That's the kind of nonsense we see. We see men that think they're women. We see women that think that they're men. Okay. They even go through the extent of changing their appearance to mimic this stuff, and they still don't realize that, hey, at the end of the day, you are a giraffe. You were born a giraffe. You're going to die a giraffe. Your seed going to look like giraffe. You know, you can either come to grips with who you are or not. And our people are suffering specifically because they don't want to come to grips with who they are. They're trying to be every other animal in the wild, except the giraffe, except the Lion King, except the, the killer shark. They don't want to be who they were, who they're supposed to be. And it makes our people the laughing stock of the world. And that's why I realized that, yes, the revolutionary Black person that's comfortable in their own natural form, Black women that's comfortable with their natural hair, we are such a threat because we're telling them, I know who I am. And I'm comfortable in who I am. And I'm confident in who I am. That lets them know that we're not vulnerable, and that lets them know that we have confidence. Just by your appearance, lets people know, huh? Last trivia question before I wrap up this episode. Have you ever seen a person out in public and you could tell their whole story, huh? By their appearance. Shout out to the family. If that's ever happened to you, let me see a number one. You've been out there and you saw, for instance, like the Black girl who's into cosplay and anime. You see her, she's got on like a lavender colored wig. She's got these little pigtails and like a little Sailor Moon t-shirt, huh? You've seen the guy who he feels like he's military, or he feels like he's a police officer. He's wearing a camo shirt. He got the little Ray-Ban kind of glasses. He's got on the big boots and the cargo pants, huh? You can see these people and know their whole life story. You can tell their interests. You can tell where they shop, what they like, huh? You seen a Black beauty with the silky Malaysian wig. She got on the red bottom, high heels, nice little pantsuit. She got on the designer handbag. Hello. That's what the same way you can recognize a person in public and know so much of their story. That's why us in our skin, Black people in our own skin, in our own hair, is such a threat. That's why they just discourage us from getting there, because it's confident. It's confidence. That's why also they discourage the diaspora from coming here on the continent, because seeing a reflection of so many people that looks like you adds what? Confidence. Adds comfort in your own skin. Whereby some of us in the West, have struggled with your Blackness, especially depending on where you live. Some of you are living in very, very non-diverse communities. So, you're used to going out to the shop and being the only one, or getting stared down, or getting profiled by the police officer, or being the only one in the classroom or the boardroom. And it's an uncomfortable, stupid feeling, you see? And then when you come to Africa, you go to some place in the Caribbean, or, among the Afro-Latinos, something like that. And you start seeing so many people that look like you, and you're just like, wow. It adds a comfort to you. It adds a freedom to you. It adds to your confidence. They don't want us to come over here and realize, hey, wait a minute, we're not minorities. I'm pretty sure that Black people on this continent, diasporans, do no longer, if they ever felt like minorities, they do not feel like minorities here in Africa. I'm pretty sure. Big shout out to ATM10, the only one who could relate to my trivia question. Boy, the family is struggle life with the participation lately. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, but I hope that you get on track very soon. Yes, because where I'm going, the next levels I'm going to, I need an interactive fan base. Okay, I don't need any wallflowers. They're not any benefit. So we need an interactive fan base. As we continue to climb the charts, you feel me? Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you. If you guys like this Unpopular Opinions, please make sure you like the stream. Again, please make sure you cop the pre-order the EP. It's in the box below. Also, make sure you send your votes. Send your votes. Send your votes. Send your votes. Okay? Ubiquitous Blacks is in the building. Says, if you're watching, like the live. Make sure you like the live. Yes. And please also send your fiscal support to the GoFundMe. All right? Put your 5 on it on the GoFundMe. It's necessary. We have thousands of you guys on this platform. Hundreds of people are going to watch this show at least. All of you guys, hit the GoFundMe. It's in the box below. Send your 5, send your 10, send your 20. Let's get to the goals so that I can get the preparations for South Africa. We're going to go down there. We're going to add another award to the couch. That's the goal. We went following the last week of August, okay, when I returned from South Africa, we need to put it right here, right next to Best Female Vocalist. Needs to go Best Promising Artist of the Year 2023. Yes, that's going to make me an international award-winning musician. So we need to definitely bring that home. Okay, family? All right, I've talked long enough. Much love to you guys. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, please make sure that you do. And also, if you have not seen my latest music video, I'll give you a snippet before ending the live. Big shout outs to the family. One and only. I'm back again. African superstar on the track. It's the weekend. And ain't no place I'd rather be than here with you. And you here with me. Yeah. Got the sauce, boy. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's the weekend. Man, that's my jam. Yeah. Big shout out to African Superstar family. That was just a clip of my most recent music video, Beach Chill. It's here on YouTube. So make sure you go check it out if you have not and add it to your collection. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.